Kuzambola. Bhutan e-learning welcomes you to this class of Media Studies for Key Stage 5, that's class 11 and 12. And I am Desang Dorji, and today I'll take you through the lessons on nature of media and media representation. In this lesson, we'll cover 1. Understanding the nature of media messages. 2. The concept of media representation. 3. Why are different types of representation important? 4. Analyzing media representation. Do you ever question the existence of a media message, or rather simply depend on it for information or entertainment? In our previous lesson, we learned that media is a channel of communication. What does that mean? It means media is a path that we take to convey our message in order to fulfill our motives. Therefore, there are different paths, different messages, and different motives to fulfill. But all of these messages have some features that are very common, and these common features are called nature of media messages. As per Shoaib and Raghav, there are 6 common features, and in your class 11 media studies textbook, you will find this in page number 47. So let's look into the nature of media message. All media messages are constructed, meaning they are man-made. They look natural but are man-made. For example, our magazine is made with articles, pictures, layouts, and locations. Our videos are made using different camera angles, lightings, music, sound effects, and of course, the amazing actors. The creators of a media message have a pool of material. From there, they select the ones that best convey their motive and then omit the ones they don't need. We as audience, we only get to see and hear what is being selected, and we, without ever questioning, normalize this media messages. Let's look at this example from one of the very popular TV series. In this example, we see that everything is created, but because it looks natural, we never question. We know that the costume is fake, the scenes are fake, the background is fake. In this particular series, the backgrounds are made with strong LCD projectors rather than the usual green screen technique, but we enjoy it. Number 2. Each medium has different language, meaning they have different features. To explain this further, let's listen to a very popular Bhutanese song. In this song, the musical instrument used is traditional Bhutanese musical instruments. Therefore, we get a vibe that this is a pure Bhutanese song. The tune of the music is very soothing. Therefore, we can forecast that this is going to be a romantic song. The lyrics is very metaphorical. Therefore, the audience enjoy and appreciate the art. So this is for audio language. Now let's look at a picture language and how it has different features. In this particular ad, we see the picture of our very famous actress Sharab Hamo, and the ad is for Chari tiles. If you see the emphasis with different font colors and size is given on the slogan, "My arena, my styles." If you look at the logo, It is very artistic and unique for a tiles company, just suggesting the variety and the range of styles it can offer. The matching of the dress of the model with the stairs and the background tells you that they can match your style. In other words, your tiles, your extension. Number 3. Media messages have particular purpose. All media messages are made to make money. Therefore, they are a commercial business. The articles in a newspaper are laid out in such a way that they can fit ads. If you look at a TV program, the TV programs in between have commercials. All these are done to make money. Let me explain this further with a very interesting ad.
This recently discovered colony of penguins is unlike any other. They don't need to huddle together every winter for protection against the bitter cold, because these little fellas can do something no other penguins can. Isn't that amazing? How do they use this incredible ability? Well, they fly thousands of miles to the rainforests of South America, where they spend the winter basking in the tropical sun.
In this ad that we just saw, we see BBC. But is it really telling us about BBC? No, it is not. It is not also talking about penguins who can fly. No, it isn't. At the end, they are trying to sell us iPlayer. And why we need iPlayer. But why is it on BBC? Because we as audience trust BBC. We think they are the best. And iPlayer is using that to tell us that we need iPlayer. Our ads sell products to audience, and our programs sell audience to the advertisers. Number 4. Media messages contain embedded values and a point of view. Because media messages are constructed, the subtext of who and what is very important, especially to the person or persons who are creating the construction. Media are also storytellers. And just like any other story, they need character, setting, and plot. Even the short commercials that we see have short and simple stories. All the decision made in making a media message is done with a careful choice. I want to explain this with a very interesting ad.
Kamu?
Oi, Kinga.
Sonam. Chiki go the same game dari. Chujun gatu damu.
Nga da tu sansi chi to jo betami.
Tadi mapa ngacherni chi masubdi berue bi mobile la hindi gite chi chi lu khalamni duba demo.
Ememo nga chi na bi mobile he be ne semita tu tu asi. Te nga chi ni khasa khanim gewi chi nga sir ga chewe chera masubde. Nga na wana se fatim pulu sansi chi soma jodowa. 때 파오니 기차시치미가.
nga woni bin pa te nabana sama heb de chege de me
Bhutan Telecom, always there for you.
This particular ad starts by showing two characters in Highlanders attire. As soon as we see the attire, we are taken to our northern territory where the conditions are very harsh and the terrains are very rough. Our traditional musical background and the mule transportation tells us how difficult it is for them for any transportation, just like in the past. But in the phone call happens without any interruption, just telling us that B Mobile is the mobile network for our country that connects all different corners, almost telling us that difficulty to reach out to each other is a thing in the past. 5. Media and media messages can influence beliefs, attitudes, values, behaviors, and democratic processes. So there are 5 changes that they can do. Bhutanese in general are shy and timid people. But with the coming of TikTok, every Bhutanese is a singer or a dancer. The Korean series that our youths watch have determined how our youths dress and behave. Our Hollywood spy movies, James Bond, have made us believe that Russia is the antagonist in the world peace. And then it is also very influential during elections. If a popular media house choose to cover some candidates but choose not to cover other candidates, that can make a huge difference in the decision a voter makes. Number 6, different audience interpret differently. The same media message can be interpreted differently by different audience. For example, let's look at this picture. One argues that it is number 6, while the other argues it's number 9. So it depends on your own experience, on your own knowledge, and on your own circumstances of how you interpret a media message. Sometimes a song can hit you harder, but may not hit it as hard to your other friends. Why? Because you can relate to that song. These are the 6 natures of media message. But most important is, we must understand that media messages may look natural, but they are made after a lot of careful decisions. Now, let us understand media representation. I hope all of you are with me. We have just completed nature of media message. Now let's look at media representation. And we'll understand this by questioning 3 things: what, who, and why. So the first one, what is media representation? It is a way in which a media house portrays a particular issue, a particular group, a particular person in the point of view or an ideological perspective. Next question is, who should media represent? The subject and the nature of focus of representation may differ as per the nature of the media house. Therefore, it is not very wise in a democratic society for the government to own the media house. But anyhow, all media houses must represent issues that need immediate attention. Number 3, why representation in media is important. Reason number 1, it is catalytic in changing mindsets. For years, our women were not allowed to play the so-called men's game, and their participation in democratic processes were very less. But now, we see our women having their own Kuru tournament, and their participation in democratic process is increasing as well. Why is it happening? It's because of the women empowerment in media. Reason number 2, what media depicts is what we believe. And this is very much true, especially in adolescence. Now, to explain this, I would like to play 2 ads which are made on the same topic, cigarettes, and you can see how they are different.
You know, if you were to follow a busy doctor as he makes his daily round of calls, you'd find yourself having a mighty busy time keeping up with him. Time out for many men of medicine usually means just long enough to enjoy a cigarette. And because they know what a pleasure it is to smoke a mild, good-tasting cigarette, they're particular about the brand they choose. In a repeated national survey, doctors in all branches of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country were asked, "What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?" Once again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Why not change to Camels for the next 30 days and see what a difference it makes in your smoking enjoyment? See how Camels agree with your throat. See how mild and good-tasting a cigarette can be.
This particular video was made in 1950, and in this ad, shockingly, we see a doctor smoking. And he tells how refreshing it is to smoke Camel cigarettes. Such an irony. Let's look at the next one. This particular image is a cover package of a cigarette brand. And on the very cover we see smoking is injurious to health. We see a huge change from 1950s to our recent time. All this, now people understand how smoking can be injurious. Number 3, media representation changes the structure of a society, the norms that we follow, and it also breaks taboos. This can be explained in how the present generation accepts LGBTQ members, which was considered once a taboo in our society. Okay, now let us look at how media houses and in general media houses in Bhutan represent certain issues and tackle them. So, here are the types of media representation. Number 1, representing individuals. This includes an individual person, a family, a group, a community, or a political party. So when a media house represents an individual, they must make sure that all sides of the story are covered. Number 2, representing gender. When we represent gender in a media, we must make sure that not one particular gender is given too much of a focus. There is a risk of creating discriminatory attitude in the other gender. For instance, if a media house focuses on women, men might feel discriminated. Number 3, representing issues like violence, suicide, and sex. Media must make sure that they don't glorify the one involved in violence, and when referring to incidents or issues of suicide and sex, they must be very careful of what they imply and what they refer to, because these are very sensitive issues. Number 4, representing region or race. Media houses should not focus on one region or one race. A general average coverage of all the regions and race creates harmony. 5, representation of religion. media house, when representing religion, should not promote one religion and disparage the other. All religions must be respected. So these are the types of media representation. Now let us analyze media representation. And there are few things we must look into when we analyze media representation. So the first thing to consider are images. Images can create either a positive or negative portrayal of a situation. Images usually depict what is really happening. To understand this, I have two pictures for you on the screen. The first picture and the second picture are similar in the sense they show one lone house. But if you change the lighting and the colors a little bit, you can either have a very happy house to live in or a not very happy house to live in. Second, sound or music. Sound or music represent the social world. For example, every time you hear a drumlin, we know it is from Bhutan. Can you hear a galloping horse? If you did, that just goes on to show your previous knowledge. So in sounds and music, the audience's previous knowledge of the context is also very important. Number 3, intertextuality. Intertextuality meaning the audience's ability to relate to previous media message and the present one. For example, if you have ever read William Wordsworth's poem, you are certain to know that it is about nature. So these are the things you need to consider while analyzing media representation. So in this lesson, we took care of nature of media message, media representation, and analyzing media representation. I hope now you will not look at a media just for information or entertainment, but you will look at it keeping in mind the nature of media messages and why it is representing the particular issue. Before I say my goodbyes, I have a home assignment for you. Let's dwell on this question. To what extent should media authority in Bhutan keep a close watch on the representations by different media houses? To what extent should the media authority in Bhutan keep a close watch on representations by different media houses? So this particular question, please think about it. If you can, I would love to hear your answers. With this, we come to the end of our lesson. I hope all of you enjoyed, and I hope the lesson was as clear as you would have wanted. Thank you. Please do join me in my next lesson.